Nomads World, Season 4, Episode 1, A Year Without Fear. 1 year had passed since the fox attack changed everything. For 1 year, the Nomads had rebuilt their village one branch at a time, every bridge woven between the roots, every hollow carved high into the great oak, every basket of supplies carried uphill, every tired evening that ended with another beam in place became another promise that the village would never again be caught unprepared. The great oak had once been their refuge. Now it had become their home again. Around its mighty trunk, a new village had slowly risen, stretching higher through the branches where claws could not easily reach and floodwaters could no longer threaten them. For the first time in many seasons, the village did not wake to danger. No smoke drifted between the trees. No floodwater rushed beneath the roots. No fox scratched against the hollows. Morning arrived quietly. Sunlight slipped through the leaves and stretched across the new walkways. Children raced from one hollow to another, while baskets of mushrooms, berries, and herbs were carried toward the center of the village. High among the roots, families stepped from their homes without first searching the forest below for signs of danger. Peace no longer felt like a visitor. It finally felt like home. Rain hurried across one of the wider branches with a bundle of woven ribbons pressed against her chest. "Slow down," Daniel called after her. "I am slowing down." Rain nearly collided with Chip as he stepped onto the branch carrying 2 empty baskets. Chip jumped aside. "That is not slowing down." Rain glanced over her shoulder. Daniel was still several steps behind, carefully balancing a covered bowl with both hands. "We're already late," she said. "We wouldn't be late," Daniel answered, "if someone hadn't changed her mind about the ribbons 3 times. They didn't look right. They looked exactly like those." Rain held the bundle higher. "These are different." Chip studied them carefully. "They're the same color." Rain stared at him in disbelief. "They are absolutely not the same color." Daniel smiled. "They're close enough." Rain sighed dramatically. "I cannot believe I work with both of you." Chip looked at Daniel. "What's in the bowl?" Daniel tightened his grip. "Something my father told me not to drop." "That doesn't answer the question. It answers the important part." The 3 continued toward the gathering branch. Rain suddenly slowed. "Oh, don't use all the ribbons." Daniel looked at her. "Why not?" "We'll need some later." Chip smiled. "For what?" Rain caught herself. She smiled. "You'll see." Daniel exchanged a grin with Chip. "I think somebody's planning something." Rain quickly walked faster. "I didn't say anything." "You didn't have to." Below them, the oldest section of the village had changed. Several families now lived high among the roots, safely above the damp ground and the well-worn paths animals often crossed. Strong bridges connected the larger hollows. Woven coverings sheltered the busiest walkways from rain and curious eyes above. The sounds of carving, weaving, and building had echoed through the great oak for more than a year. The work had become part of everyday life. Now, for the first time, the village no longer looked like it was recovering. It looked like home. Near the center branch, Porky dragged a long wooden bench into place. Daniel carefully set down the covered bowl before hurrying over. "You could have waited for me." Porky looked up. "I did." Daniel glanced at the bench. "It doesn't look like you waited." "I waited until I got tired of waiting." Daniel laughed. "That sounds like you." Together they lifted the bench. As they carried it, Susie stepped onto the branch, carrying a basket filled with fresh leaves. Without realizing it, Porky's eyes followed her as she crossed the branch. He stopped walking. Daniel kept moving. The bench twisted awkwardly. Porky, no answer. Porky, what? We're still carrying this. Porky blinked. Oh, Susie couldn't help smiling. Good morning. Porky's grin spread across his face. Morning. She continued toward the gathering tables. Daniel watched her go before looking back at Porky. You know, what? I think she likes you. Porky laughed. I sure hope so. I'd be concerned if she didn't. The two laughed together before setting the bench into place. Nearby, one of the village children struggled to lift a bundle of firewood. Before anyone else noticed, Porky walked over. Need a hand? The child nodded. Together they carried the bundle the rest of the way. The child smiled. Thanks, Porky. Anytime. Daniel watched quietly. A year ago, few people would have asked Porky for help. Now they looked for him. Across the branch, Tim stood beside Cliff and Porky's father, watching the village prepare. The annual 20th Year Celebration had always been important. Each year, every young person who reached 20 was welcomed into full adulthood before the village. They accepted new responsibilities, new expectations, new purpose. But this year felt different. The last celebration had been followed by fear, smoke, loss, uncertainty. This year, the village celebrated peace. A young carpenter approached Tim carrying 2 pieces of carved railing. Tim, should the railing stop here or continue around a bend? Tim studied the branch. Continue around. The young man nodded immediately. That's what I thought. Without another question, he returned to work. Cliff smiled. They don't even argue with you anymore. Tim chuckled softly. They're probably just tired of hearing me explain why. They trust you. Tim looked across the village. I hope they trust the work more than the man. Cliff quietly answered, sometimes they're the same thing. Before Tim could answer, the elder smiled. They already have. If you're enjoying the journey, like, subscribe, and share. Welcome to RC Best, where stories and ideas come alive. Don't miss the next chapter. Every episode reveals another piece of the world.